Hi. Um, okay, well, hi there. Break the ice real quick. I finally got a new desk chair. I love it. It's my new favorite thing in the world. Shout out to my mom. She's great because she got it for me. But yeah. Okay, so let's get real for a second. This is the first video that I'm sitting down to record in literally like a month. Fun fact that you may or may not have kind of realized by now, depending on how long you've been watching my channel, like 90% of my videos, I'm usually really good at like recording and editing somewhere between like 2 to 3 weeks before they actually go live on my channel. The only exception to that being these videos, these update videos that I record and edit the week they go up. So with the exception of my last update video, I think there were 2 videos that went up after that. Those were both like recorded and edited like weeks in advance. So I managed to be able to get those up. But I have been dealing with some like real crippling anxiety that has prevented me from recording anything since then. Since my last update video, I just have not been able to really do much of anything. And this update video, this one that you're watching, is the first video I'm recording. So if my energy feels a little off in this video, I apologize in advance. I'm like trying to remember how to do this in a way that feels natural because it feels like it's been a century since I've recorded a video. So yeah, let's just jump right into my April update, shall we? Hey, hello, my name is Jojo and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome. I usually do that with 2 hands, hold on. Welcome. Okay, so April. April has been a month that has literally flown by. I feel like it just started and yet here I am already recording an update for the month. So I guess we'll just start with classes like I normally do. I don't know why. God. Oh man, this is gonna be a real awkward one. Okay. Diagnostic neuropsych testing. In the vlog that went up, you saw me doing some scoring for my testing volunteer that I have for that class. And I have pretty much finished scoring. There's one test left that needs to be not scored, but normed. And we were instructed to send the scores, like the raw scores, to the professor so that he could norm them for us, because apparently you have to norm them using a text or software or something that we don't have access to as students. And I sent mine to him and have yet to get them back. So I'm gonna have to remind him that he's sitting on those. But yeah, really all that's left for that class is for me to just write up the report, the testing report, and that takes forever. If you've never written a testing report before, it is the longest process. I wrote 2 last semester, like 2 full reports last semester for both of my testing patients. And those took me days to finish. And similarly, I have started writing the testing report for this volunteer, and I've been working on it so far for 2 days, and I've barely gotten like 3 pages done. Like, I don't know why, I don't know what it is about testing reports and why they take so long to write, but they do. I don't know if I'm just slow, but I don't think it's just me, because my colleagues who are also writing some reports are similarly complaining about how long it takes. I don't know. Testing reports take a really long time to write. Really annoying. So I'm in the process of writing that. I also remember saying in the vlog This is like memory flooding back to me now because I have not thought about anything in so long. I'm also now remembering that I said in the vlog that I would talk more about the tests individually. Like the ones that I didn't get to talk about in the vlog, I would talk about during this update. Or maybe I was referring to the update that went up already for last month. I don't really remember. That was March. Feels like a lifetime ago. I want to try to keep that promise. So really briefly, to go over the rest of the tests. I think the last test I talked about in that vlog was this. See, I have the list. Hold on. I'm just gonna look at the list real quick. Oh, JK, where is it? Oh. Got it. Okay. So we talked about test of premorbid functioning, the CBLT, the RAO, the verbal fluency tests, and I think that might have been where we left off. The test after that is the BVMT, which is a figure memory test, and essentially what that is like I hold up a page that has six different figures on it. I hold it up in front of the patient for 10 seconds, and then I put it down and they have to draw the figures from memory exactly as they were on the paper and like the positions and everything. And then you do that 2 more times, and then you then come back to it like 10 or 20 minutes later and ask them to draw the figures again from memory. A lot of the tests that we ran were just like memory tests, like recall tests, short-term recall and long-term recall. That was really like a good chunk of the tests that we ran. So that's what the BVMT is, and that's supposed to get at visual spatial memory. We also did the WIMS, or we did one subtest from the WIMS, logical memory, which is again a recall test, but this time for stories, like a short narrative. So I read a short narrative to them, ask them to recall as many details as they can in that moment, and then after some time has passed, I come back to it and ask them to recall the story again, as many details as they can remember. That's supposed to get at contextual memory, seeing how well they're able to remember details when it's put into a context for them or put into a narrative. We also did trail making, which I learned last year as a part of the DCAFs, like it's one of the subtests in the DCAFs, but this version of trail making was not the DCAFs version. It was just like, I guess, the original version that the DCAFs is like derived from. But it's essentially like a page with numbers in circles, like spread out across the page, and they have to draw lines from each circle to the next in the order of the numbers. And then there's a second one where there's letters and numbers in circles, and they have to go in order, connecting the circles, but they have to go from a letter to a number, a letter to a number, a letter to a number, blah, 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 until they get to the end. And the first version, which is just the numbers, is supposed to get at processing speed. And then the second version with numbers and letters is supposed to get at, in addition to processing speed, inhibition and set switching, which is like an executive functioning type of thing, essentially what they like test for when they're testing for like ADHD and stuff like that. Then we did the color word interference test, which is from the DCAFs, again, that I learned last year. That's essentially like a Stroop task. If you know what the Stroop task is, it's like when the letters, it's when like the words, it's when like there's a list of colors, but the colors, it's when like you're reading a list of colors. Just Google Stroop task. It's really difficult to explain, especially right now in my current state. My brain is not fully linear. So Google Stroop task, STROOP. And that's what the color word interference task is. Essentially, there's other components to it, but it's essentially that. And again, similar to trail making, that's supposed to get at processing speed and inhibition set switching. And then we also did 4 subtests from the WAIS, which I learned all the way back in my first year in the program. So we did symbol search, coding, arithmetic, and digit span. And all of that is supposed to get at just like basic cognitive functioning, IQ. And then we did this test called NAB naming, where you essentially like show them a series of pictures of what are supposed to be like common items. And they're supposed to be able to name what the items are. I think it's supposed to be measuring just like spontaneous, like verbal naming of stuff, or like spontaneous like word production. I think like, can they look at something, know what it is, and then name what it is, you know? Yeah, it's a pretty basic test. And then the last test I did was the Wisconsin card sorting test, which is actually, it was one of my favorites to do. Really, really complicated to explain. So the only thing I will say is try to Google it if you're interested in knowing what it is, and see if somewhere on Google they explain it, because it's also like pretty complicated to administer. So me trying to explain exactly what it's supposed to do and what it's supposed to be measuring, I can't do that right now. But it was one of my favorite tests to administer to my volunteer. And yeah, so that was all of the assessments that I ran in the battery. Other than this testing report, I think I vaguely remember my professor mentioning, Jesus, what are words today? Mentioning at like the beginning of the semester that we're supposed to have a final exam, but he hasn't said anything about it since. And so I don't know if that final exam is still happening. If at any point, he probably would have talked about it in this week's class, like this past week. Admittedly, I did not go to class this week because I just couldn't do it. So I'm gonna have to follow up with the TA and see if he has mentioned anything about an exam. Hopefully not, but if he did, that's an exam I'm gonna have to start studying for very soon. So yeah, that's that class. Sorry, y'all can't hear it, but someone is driving. Well, actually, I don't know if you can hear it. If you can, I'm so sorry. Or not. Not sorry. Someone's driving down the street blasting DMX right now. But anyway, so my next class, advanced stats. Our final for that class is coming up, and just recently discovered or recently found out that it is in fact not gonna be multiple choice. So I might be a little screwed for that exam. Let me not say that. Apparently the exam is supposed to be mostly short answer, or it's supposed to be short answer. I don't know why I said mostly, as if there's gonna be another form of question on there. I actually don't know, but I know for a fact there's no multiple choice on there at all. At least that's what we were told. I guess like stats interpretation, which like I'm not terrible at, but honestly I would prefer to just do the math. Like our midterm was like multiple choice, and a lot of it was just doing the math of stats, like plugging in numbers into formulas and stuff. And I would much rather do that than do stats interpretation. So I will be doing a lot of cramming and studying for the next couple of weeks, and just hoping that the know-how of interpretation just seeps into my brain somehow. You know what I just thought of? That meme of the little boy who's like flipping through his textbook and he's just like doing this before his test. That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me for the next 2 weeks with my stats homework and everything that I've done. Just like hoping that like via osmosis, I just know it when the final happens. Oh God, I'm a mess right now. Okay. Okay, and then my other class, externship seminar, clinical externship seminar, the only class that I don't actually despise going to currently. And I'm actually kind of sad it's ending soon because the semester is almost over. Funny story. The professor had to cancel a class a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago at this point. And to make up for having to cancel class, he decided that he would have one-on-one meetings with everyone. Like an hour dedicated to just us asking him whatever we felt we needed help with. And so in my one-on-one with him, mind you, this is the professor that I have a crush on. In my one-on-one with him, I realized at some point, it was on Zoom, by the way, the one-on-ones were on Zoom. And so I could see myself, I could see what I looked like. And so at one point I caught myself just like sitting there listening to him talk. I had asked him a question and he was answering. And at one point I glanced at myself and I just caught myself sitting there like this. I was like, just like staring at his face in the Zoom. I don't even think I heard anything he said. That man is too handsome for his own good, and I hate it. But in all realness, I am actually really sad that class is ending because I have learned a lot from him and just like from other folks in the class in general. I think there's like a general consensus among us that this is probably one of the best classes we've had since being in the program, which is both very good and also like a little disappointing when you think about all of the other classes we've taken and the fact that we're actually almost done with having to take classes. Most of us only have a few credits left that we have to take. So when you think about it in that context, the fact that this class, this 1 credit class is the best class that we have taken in this program. Yeah. But yeah, I have just really enjoyed that class. I think I'll give like a more all-encompassing review of that class once it's actually over, like at the end of the semester, because I feel like every week when we talk about a new like paper that we read, it all kind of helps me connect like things we've talked about in previous weeks. So I'll give more of like a wide overview of what that class has been and what we've been talking about like once we're actually done. All right, so clinical work. I actually finished with my externship, even though classes are ending like mid-May. My externship goes all the way until the end of May, so I actually still have like a month left, but I am like in the process of terminating with clients, which my past few terminations with my clients have been really weird for me. I've been noticing this trend where my clients will come in like our last couple of sessions and will suddenly want like really concrete skills to like deal with some new problem that has come up in the past 2 weeks that is like completely not at all what we had been talking about for like the 8 weeks prior. And so my last few terminations, I have left those sessions feeling almost like I've disappointed my clients in some way, because they came in suddenly like wanting like real concrete solutions that I couldn't give them. And I've actually talked about this a lot in many spaces, in supervision, in seminar, in group supervision. And it's been interesting to like hear what people's thoughts are on that and why it's happening with my clients. But yeah, it's a new termination experience for me that I think I am struggling to manage. And in a similar vein, I'm also starting with new clients and it feels very weird. I remember doing like a whole little mini rant about this in my last update video. But even though I essentially only have a month left at the counseling center, we're still getting new clients to start with. And like those clients coming in are being told like you only have 4 weeks to work with this person. And it's like really hard for me to sit in front of someone and both know that they need help right this minute, and also know that a good chunk of our time has to be focused on not really talking about their problems, but more so trying to focus on getting them long-term referrals so that they can get help with their problems. It just feels like an oxymoron. Is that the right word? Oxymoron? Paradox? What is the right word? Paradox. The correct word for this situation is paradox. It feels like a paradox that they are coming to a counseling center to seek help for mental strife that they are dealing with in this very moment. And we, as therapists, have to tell them, we know you need help with your mental strife, but I can't help you with that, really. What I can help you with, though, is finding you someone else who can help you with that. That's what it feels like I'm doing. And I don't like it. So yeah, I am starting with new clients and just feeling really weird about it, because I'm having to simultaneously try to effectively help them manage what they're dealing with, but also not getting so deep into it that in 4 weeks they have now poured out all of their anguish and trauma to me, and I'm just like leaving them hanging with a brand new therapist, you know? So it's been weird. Research. Okay, well, I will say that within the past week, a lot of progress has been made. I don't know what it is. This past week, suddenly things started falling into place, or maybe it's just because like I got good news. So first things first, this past week, I finally finalized my dissertation committee. So that's done with. That was one of my goals for this academic year. It was really supposed to be last semester, but when it didn't happen last semester, I put it for just academic year goals. And I did that this week. So yay. Other good news. I know I said in my last video that I probably wouldn't be able to share with y'all any news about my conference abstract submission until my end of semester update or recap, but it just so happens that today is April 28th and today was the day notifications went out, and prior to starting recording this, I checked my submission and it got accepted. So I will be presenting a poster on my research at a conference over the summer, which is like really exciting. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. And other than that, I mean, like, I'm still working on my pre-proposal. We've been making some solid progress on that, thanks in huge part to the undergraduate student who is helping me. Shout out to her. She doesn't watch my channel. I don't think she knows about my channel, and I'm not gonna tell her. But if she ever comes across these videos and she sees this one, shout out to her, because she is a huge reason why there is still progress being made on my proposal right now, despite how I've been feeling for the past like month. So yeah, progress has been made and it feels good. It feels good to know that, at least on this front, the research front, that has felt like it's been stuck in a pit for the past year, is now flourishing a little bit. All right, so I mean, overall feelings, there's only a few weeks left in the semester, and due in absolutely no part to anything happening with school currently, this is all me, personal shit, I am really burnt out. And again, like, due in no part to school. School this semester has actually been like a breeze. Like, despite having like really late classes and having like really long days on campus, I keep dropping this. Despite all of that, classes this semester have actually been a breeze. So because of that, I know that the burnout that I'm feeling has nothing to do with school. and nothing to do with work, and everything to do with just personal stuff that has been happening in my life since January that I just keep kind of like shoving under the rug and saying I'm gonna deal with it later, and then later comes and I just shove more shit under the rug on top of what's already there. But good news is I don't even know if I mentioned this in a video. I think I did, maybe, I don't know, I don't remember, but I finally found a new therapist. So I can actually start doing something with all of that shit that I swept under the rug and get out of this anxious, crippling rut that I have been in for the past month. So that's it. That's the update. So let's do my little end of video question, shall we? If you're still watching at this point in the video, let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite or like your go-to self-care like thing? Do you journal? Do you go get massages? Do you like candles? Just anything. I want to know. Not because I'm gonna steal them or anything. I have my own like plot twist. This question is just so I can get new self-care things to try because mine aren't working. No, I'm kidding. No, that's just on my mind right now because I'm really trying to take care of myself. For me lately, I've been really into sitting on my balcony again because the weather is starting to get nicer. So I've been sitting on my balcony a lot and getting some fresh air, which has been nice. And I'm probably actually gonna go do that now after I'm done recording this because the sun just recently came out. It's been cloudy all day, but the sun just came out. So I'm probably gonna go sit on my balcony and soak in some sun. Get that vitamin D. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, what do you like to do for self-care? What's your go-to? Or what's some new self-care stuff that you wanna try? And hopefully you will find the time to do them in the very near future. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. And I'll see you in my next one. I switched up the ending on y'all. Did you catch it? I'm so weird. Okay, bye.